All right, we are getting ready to be leaving the Dock Knob shelter, and it was a comfortable, nice place to sleep last night. The deck, look at this deck, it's just awesome. As I almost turn my ankle over stepping off the staircase. Pretty rocks out that way, and the sun came up here. It was really kind of nice, and we are eager to get into town today. We got about an 8-mile day and then maybe half a mile or so into town. And it's going to be a nice day. The weather's going to warm up some. It's already warmed up some, and it's going to be gorgeous. So follow along with us, and we'll show you what we see up the trail. Oh, there's the privy. Well, we're going up the trail this morning, headed to Pearisburg, Virginia. We've got about an 8-mile trip into town today, and we'll probably take a night or two there. Angel's getting off trail for about a week for going back to trail days, and she got to get back home for a couple of days for some appointments. And Bullfrog's uncle's coming out to meet him. So we're gonna kind of play it by ear and see what we got going on this week. But it's a cool morning. It was 41 when we got up, according to my little thermometer, if it's to be trusted. And it feels nice to be getting moving a little bit now. We've got beautiful sunrise, blue skies. We're going to have a nice day of hiking today, or at least a nice half day of hiking. It's kind of interesting that we are now getting up in the morning. We're going out, and we're getting 8 miles done before lunch, when it used to be that we would get our 8 miles done about 4 or 5 o'clock. So we're getting stronger and faster, and that's kind of nice. We hiked yesterday at a pace that was at least a little better than 2 miles an hour, including breaks, so that's pretty nice. So anyway, we're heading up the trail. We'll talk to you soon. Man, walking along just real slowly in the forest this morning. It's gorgeous. Look up there, the sun peeking through here, and we got some rhododendrons in bloom this morning already. Oh, there's some right back there. I missed those. And so far we've just got a flat trail that's just meandering through the woods, and I cannot tell you how much peace this brings me this morning. Sitting here listening to some music in one ear and have the other ear open to hear animals, and the birds are chirping. No bears so far. Saw a couple of deer the other day though. That was kind of nice. Gavin found them. And man, this is just a gorgeous, beautiful morning. And I think the temperature's going to warm up. I already feel warmer than I did. Of course, I'm moving now, and that makes all the difference. And we've got a carpeted path with the rhododendron petals. And this is just it's just surreal this morning. I cannot explain how at peace I am just to be kind of walking down the trail here. My pack doesn't feel heavy. I don't have a ton of water, and I've eaten a lot of my food because we're going into town, but you know, it's riding well, the pack is, and I'm just kind of striding out and enjoying my trip through the woods this morning. It is just absolutely a gorgeous day, and we're blessed. We're blessed with good friends, good weather, the ability to hike hard. We're going to be going into town today, so we'll get a good night's rest tonight indoors. Not that we don't sleep well outdoors, I do. I sleep remarkably well on my pad, whether it's in a shelter or in a tent. But it's just a gorgeous day. Well, Mountain Spring this morning. I think I've got all the water I want to have right now though, so I'm not going to fill up, but man, it's just beautiful. The day is just a gorgeous day, and the sun is still, I'm going to show you again, up there somewhere. Oh, it's in the sky. How about that? Go figure. The sun is glinting through the rhododendrons, and we're just having a beautiful, gorgeous morning up here today. I'm going to walk on up and see what else there is to be seen. But this is, I mean, I can't overstate just how pleasant it is to just be kind of walking through the woods. I don't have to go too fast, and the trail's flat and level. It's just like walking up the street. except it's a whole lot more pretty. Well, moving on up the trail, we've come to a power line, which means we might have a little bit of a view as you look down the power lines, but it's going to be obstructed. I think it's interesting that one of the power lines that we came on, oh yeah, we've got a view. One of the power lines we came on was humming audibly. Wow, that's really nice right there. Not sure what we're looking down on, but man, that's gorgeous. That's a nice view. You can see a long ways. You got little houses and things and farms down there. That's awesome. Let's see what's up there. Yep, just some wires. We'll go back to the back side of it and see what there is to see there. Not nearly as much, although there is a lake down there. That's kind of nice. Wonder what lake that is. It's kind of hard to say. Guess we'll have to get out a map and do some looking when we get to the hotel. So I am kind of curious to know what that is. But our trail goes this way, so I'm going to go this way too. It's a big structure right there. About 15 or so, 20 feet across at the base. It's pretty big. Providing power to the folks down there, I reckon. Or maybe it's providing power to the folks over there. One or the other. All right, back down the trail. Well, after passing the power lines, we got up here on a ridge line. Whoops, and there's a rock that I didn't see. But the sun is still playing tricks through the trees and the greenery. It's really, really nice. Very pleasant walk today. The temperature has warmed up a little bit. I finally took my raincoat off and I'm comfortable. Not sweating too much. And sort of see right over there is where the ridge line is. We're just right off the side of it. It's a really pretty hike, and I think we're going to start going down here before too long to get into town. We have about an 8-mile trip, I think, today. And based on my watch, oh, it's 9:30. We've not gone halfway yet. I thought it was 10:30. But that's okay. We'll keep on plowing and should be there around lunchtime. So we'll see you up the trail. Well, after lunch, and we're still, well, second breakfast, I guess, instead of lunch, because it was only like 9:30 or 9:45. Still walking through a carpet of green and sunshine, punctuated by wildflowers. That's really nice. Still seeing some May apples up here. Haven't seen any fruit on any of them much. We saw 1 or 2 plants back the way a few days ago when they were so thick and heavy. They had a little bit of fruit on them, but nothing yet that I've seen. They're blooming, some of them are. But it's just a forest of green out here, up on this ridge line. Well, this is an interesting part of the trail. For the last little bit, we've been walking through this knee-high grass that's just kind of falling over the trail. It smells really sweet. And it's just something different. Looks like it goes on for a ways yet. The odd thing is I don't see much of any off the trail. I don't know whether this was intentional or how it came to be here, but it's an interesting feature that we've not seen yet. So I thought I'd share it with you. Man, you don't get views like this real often. We're up on a rock precipice, and man, we can see forever out here. This is just absolutely stunning. Take that in. I know that the camera doesn't do it justice. It is a gorgeous day. We can see mountains forever, and the towns down below, and the farmhouses and all that sort of thing. Absolutely incredible. Alrighty, nice rock formation right here beside the trail. And hopefully this is not a sign of things to come, climbing over it, but boy, this is gorgeous. And the trail itself is not too terribly bad. At least it's not taking 2 or 3 foot steps at the time. But just one of the features of the trail that's just always awes me, to see all the rocks here on the top. I really do need to learn more about geology of the region and the trail and all that sort of thing. Big crevice right there. Spiderweb, I don't know if you can see it or not. The sun's glinting off of a spiderweb right down there. I see some glint in my screen. I don't know if you can see it in yours or not. Pretty nifty. All right, heading on up the road here. Over the rocks, through the rocks, around the rocks, heading down into Pearisburg today. Whoops, wrong way. There we go, back to normal. Man, that's just so neat. Look at that, somebody's built a fire right there. Probably camped right there. And it's just incredible. God's beauty. God's incredible beauty. Well, here's something that you don't see out in the middle of the woods very often. Looks like a power line structure right there. But usually there's a right-of-way cleared above and through and around and all that. I don't see anything. Whether this one's abandoned or what. I don't suppose it's not a fire tower because there's nothing going to the top of it. But step around through the rocks here. See anything going off of it. It's just odd. Yeah, I still don't see anything coming off of it. It's just abandoned out here in the woods. I guess they've rerouted everything. But yeah, definitely not something that you'd expect to see, especially parked beside some big old rocks like that. But our trail is headed downhill now, and that has been the toughest part of the day. It's not so bad at the moment, but boy, we were going steep there for a little while, and I think steep downhills, especially over rocks, is one of the hardest things to do, although I am kind of glad we were going down the rocks and the steepness instead of going up, because it would have been a steep climb for sure. But we're probably about a mile from the road that'll take us into Pearisburg, and still enjoying wonderful sunny weather, greenery all around, and God's hand has definitely been at work here. And we're thankful for that. Well, to go along with that power pole that we saw earlier, this is something that you don't very often see either. This thing is no more than 8 feet off the trail. It's probably not even that. I'm not going to hit my head on it, and I'm certainly not going to touch it, but I could. And that's just right there. Seems odd that that thing is so very low. But anyway, we are closing in on the town of Pearisburg. We probably got less than a half mile to get into the roadway that's going to lead us in, and then another half or 0.7 or something like that to get downtown where the places to stay are. There's several options. There's Angel's Rest Hostel, and there's a couple of motels there. So we're going to do some looking and see price-wise and internet-wise what our best option is, because there's a laundromat. We don't have to worry about laundry for sure. I know the hotel has laundry, one of them does, but there's a laundromat right uptown, so that's not a huge big deal. That's going to be a closer walk than the one was when we were in Marion, because that was about 1.5 miles, it felt like, to get down to that. And there's a Mexican place and an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet and several other restaurants nearby. It's going to be a pretty nice night, I think. I'm going to rest and relax a bit and get some weight off my feet. And then we'll be planning our week ahead. See what we can do so far as mileage. I was thinking on the way down, it's not quite noon, I think. My watch died. Got to figure out that too, because for whatever reason, my watch is only lasting about 12 hours at a pop right now. So something is obviously running in the background to deaden it. I have to go back in and figure out what's going on with that. I may have to reset it, update my phone software, and all kinds of manner of stuff like that. But hopefully we'll find a place that's got internet and I can do all those things and upload some videos, because according to my videos, I'm still in the Smoky Mountains. And we're not. We're well past that. We're 100 miles into Virginia now. So anyway, we'll see what the town has in store for us. Okay, I remember now where I was going by talking about my watch. My train of thought just jumped track. Anyway, it's about 8 o'clock. No, it's not. I think it's about noon. We started at 8 o'clock. So we are doing big step. Oh, big step. And one more. Oh, we're doing right at 2 miles an hour, brakes included. And we're at a place where we got to up our mileage if we're going to get to Katahdin by August. So I was thinking, if we can do 8 miles by lunchtime, we could stop for about an hour. That's 1 o'clock. And then do another 6 miles. That would put us at about 4 o'clock to stop hiking. And that still gives us a chance to sit down and relax at the shelter and hang our bag and make supper and visit and so forth and such as that. But it also would get us a 14-mile day in. And that's the kind of pickup in mileage we need, is to start trying to get about that kind of distance on a regular basis. So something that we'll talk about. I'll pitch that out to Gavin. He, oops, sorry, the sun's right in my back here. He sometimes is not as confident that he can do a 14-mile day, but I know that he can, and he knows that he can down deep inside. But anyway, we'll play that by ear, and we got some planning to do over the next day or so. That's one of the nice things about being in town, is you've got a chance you can sit down. You don't have to worry about a whole lot of things other than getting food, resupplying, getting a shower, getting laundry done, and then otherwise you're just kind of planning and relaxing, which is important. And that planning part is going to be especially important here in the next little bit, so we can start moving our mileage forward, get on through Virginia, and start seeing some of those northern states. So we'll kind of keep you posted as to what we come up with. But I think that seems like a very reasonable and doable option for a lot of days, is to try to get in 14 miles, split up 8 and 6. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you posted.